Welcome. I'm Deborah Loader. I'm a certified Master Transformational Health Coach, and it's Sunday evening, time to start the week living well. And this is my Facebook Live series, and each week I share a resource or a tip or an idea on how to live well. Because healthy doesn't have to be hard, and living well doesn't have to be hard. Now, tonight we're going to talk about emotional eating or stress eating. And yes, I was an emotional eater. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, but what is stress eating or what is emotional eating? And it's actually using food in a way to compensate for a situation or an emotion. And, we either lack awareness about what our body needs or what it doesn't need, or more likely, it's when we don't want to deal with something, right? We don't want to face something. And it could be loneliness, it could be boredom, it could be a stressful relationship and we turn to food, right? And one thing about stress and eating is when we initially encounter the stress, our brain actually will suppress our hunger. But if that stress continues, like in a stressful relationship or a stressful job, actually the opposite will start to occur over the long term. Now, have you ever felt that you either were or that you are an emotional eater? Have you ever had a situation where you turned to food or, that you ate even when you weren't hungry? So I said I was an emotional eater, right? So I didn't even realize that I had created a habit that started as emotional eating. Now, my background is accounting and finance, and in accounting, everything has to balance, right? Everything has to balance. Well, I'd be working along and something didn't balance, and I couldn't figure it out, and frustration would start to kick in. And so what did I start doing? I would get up and I would walk away from the project. But the problem was I would get up and walk away from the project to the snack box. And I didn't even realize what I was doing. I wasn't hungry, but I ate anyway. And as time moved on, I continued that. It actually became a habit. Problem equaled snack, right? Obstacle equaled snack. A roadblock equaled eating. And I didn't even think of this as an emotional eating until I realized I was eating, even though I wasn't hungry, as a response to something external. Because hunger is internal, right? It's a message from our body that we need some fuel. But what eventually happened is I'd come up against a small obstacle, a problem, like a blank page if I was writing something, and my stomach would actually growl like it was really hungry. I had trained my body so well that it responded accordingly, that it was like problem, food, problem, I must be hungry, stomach growl. It was incredible. And so what did I do? Well, first and foremost, I realized what was happening. And that took some body awareness and it took some honesty. Second is I realized I had trained myself to have that habit. And third, I had to believe that I could train myself to have a different habit, another habit. Because there was nothing wrong with me. I had just created a habit. Reaching for food when I couldn't immediately solve a problem. So number 4 was actually creating a new habit. Now, so when I face a blank page or a technology issue, which technology issues come up all the time, right? I still get up and walk away. But I walk away to something different, something else. It could be a walk in the neighborhood, just to clear my head. It could be to stand barefoot in the grass and feel the warmth of the sun on my face. It could be getting down on the floor with the dog just to get some hugs and feel that unconditional love back. It could be sitting on the floor and doing some yoga stretches. What it is doesn't really matter. But what matters is being aware of my body and what it needs. And so when I have a tech issue, my body needs a break. My mind needs a break. And I want to honor that. It doesn't need food. So creating that new habit does not happen overnight, but it can happen. And so when do you tend to emotionally eat? And you don't have to put it in the comments. You can message me and let me know. And what is something that you could do instead? Like the yoga stretches, like the walk. What is something else that would work for you? Now, I'm going to do an entire masterclass or webinar, whatever you want to call it, on this topic on Sunday, November 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll post the link in the comments. Now, it's free, but you do need to register. So don't get stuck in that you can't change, because that's not true. That's not true. So I'm curious, what was your aha or insight from tonight? Now, let me know that, and look for the link in the comments below, and go ahead and register for the full webinar, the full masterclass. So thanks for joining me tonight, and until next time, I invite you to live well.